Welcome to the Ohio State University Spring Commencement, held Sunday, May 10th, 2015 at Ohio Stadium. 8,212 graduates received their diplomas. The Spring Commencement speaker, Archie Griffin, is President and CEO of the Ohio State Alumni Association, Senior Vice President for Alumni Relations, and the only two-time winner of the Heisman Trophy.
Welcome, one and all, to the 409th commencement of The Ohio State University. We're pleased to have you as honored guests as this university bestows academic degrees upon today's graduates. And now I have the distinct honor of introducing our speaker. As one of the most iconic figures in our institution's history, this speaker honestly needs no introduction. In fact, his name is hanging on the stadium right in front of us here. From the moment Archie Griffin stepped onto this field in 1972, he was destined to become a Buckeye legend, and today he comes full circle. First, he played in this stadium as college football's only two-time winner of the Heisman Trophy. You haven't heard that before. And secondly, very proudly, in 1976, he graduated from this very stadium. And now, almost 40 years later, he returns to this stadium, wrapping up an incredible career as a tireless champion for the Ohio State University, to share pearls of wisdom with you, the class of 2015. This is truly an historic moment, made even more special by the fact that Archie's son, Adam, is graduating today. Mr. Griffin has devoted his professional career to serving the Ohio State University and its 500,000 living alumni. As president and CEO of the Ohio State Alumni Association and senior vice president for alumni relations, he has worked diligently to connect and engage alumni with the university. This three-time All-American running back came to Ohio State as a student athlete and played for legendary coach Woody Hayes. Last year, he was honored as All-Century Player by the Tournament of Roses Association in celebration of the 100th anniversary of the Rose Bowl game. He played 4 consecutive Rose Bowls for Coach Hayes. He was a first-round draft pick for the Cincinnati Bengals and played for 7 years before returning to Ohio State in 1984. Mr. Griffin served the Department of Athletics for 20 years before taking the helm of the Alumni Association in 2004, where his incredible talent and infectious enthusiasm helped position the association to be the best in the nation. With his signature commitment to paying forward, Mr. Griffin created the Archie Griffin Scholarship Fund, and he and his wife Bonita formed the Archie and Bonita Griffin Foundation Fund to help sports and education programs for youth in Central Ohio. After decades of success with our university and a decade leading our Alumni Association, Mr. Griffin has decided to transition into a part-time role as senior advisor with the university's Office of Advancement. We are thrilled that Archie will continue his legacy of leadership at The Ohio State University. And now perhaps my favorite quote describing Archie. This was a quote that is echoed by all who know him well. It was shared with us by his coach, Woody Hayes. And Coach Hayes said of Archie, "He is a better young man than he is a football player, and he is the best football player I've ever seen." Ladies and gentlemen, Archie Griffin.
Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Graduates, trustees, Mr. President, faculty members, friends, and families of the graduates who have done so much and sacrificed so much to make this possible, I am honored to stand before you. Today is the greatest day of my life. 29 years ago, that is how my coach and mentor, Woody Hayes, began his commencement address to an Ohio State graduating class. And as I look out at this sea of Buckeyes in caps and gowns, buzzing with elation, perhaps eagerly anticipating the end of my remarks so the party can really start, I am getting a taste of what Woody felt. It is an extraordinary day in my life, for sure, to address a graduating class here at The Ohio State University. Soon I will be leaving my post as head of the Ohio State University Alumni Association, making this opportunity to be here with so many Buckeyes mean even more to me. The timing is perfect because my son Adam is out there in cap and gown, and you know today goes down as a scarlet and gray lettered day in the history of the Griffin family. It's special for me because it means the relationship between Adam and me will change forever. And by that I mean he will stop asking me for money. Well, he probably will keep asking, but he actually has a job lined up, miracle of miracles, so it's time to pay your own way, son. Now, you know I'm joking, but only a little bit, Adam. I am not joking when I say that for parents. For parents, today is bittersweet. Among our graduates today are many who are the first in their family to graduate from college. And I think I know a little bit about how they feel. For my parents, who never had the chance at higher education, the importance of college was paramount. My parents grew up in an Appalachian coal mining town in the hills of West Virginia. They came to Columbus seeking a better life. And by the time that I was born at University Hospital, the trip north had begun to pay off. My father was a very hard-working man. He worked 3 jobs most of his life. He was a sanitation worker, a steel worker, and a janitor. So he taught all of us all we needed to know about hard work by the simple eloquence of his example. There was never a question that all 8 children would work hard and go to college. And let me tell you, all 8 of us did go to college on athletic scholarships, and all 8 of us graduated from college. This accomplishment in the Griffin house was the one that meant the most to my parents. So, whether you're the first person in your family to graduate from college or the 31st, what you accomplished today is meaningful. Meaningful for your whole family, and like me many years ago, chances are you are standing on the shoulders of giants in your own family to do it. Make sure that you thank them, whether that is mom and dad, grandma or grandpa, your aunt or your uncle or your coach, teacher or mentor, whomever cared for you enough, cared about you enough to help propel you to this day. Thank them all. Shake their hands. Give them a big hug. This is a special day for your family and loved ones, and I hope you enjoy it with them. Today is also a blessing for me because all of the graduates become part of my extended Buckeye family. Buckeye Nation is over 500,000 strong, and you take the Ohio State Network with you wherever you go. Now, since we are all members of the Buckeye family now, I want you to sit back and relax while I tell you a family story. It's of a time long ago, but a place not so far away. When I was coming out of high school and Ohio State was recruiting me, people told me I probably shouldn't go to Ohio State. They said, Archie, you're too small, you're too slow. You should go to a smaller school where you're going to get a chance to play. You call those people haters now today, right? Well, being an athlete, I felt I knew my ability better than anyone else, so I took it as a challenge to attend The Ohio State University. And it was the summer of 1972, in the first year that freshmen were allowed to play varsity. My goal was simple. I wanted to make the team. I wanted to prove to everybody who said that I couldn't play here. I wanted to prove to them that I could play here. I reported to camp that year, and I was put at the back, and put at the back meant playing on the 5th team, and playing on the 5th team meant playing on the scout squad. And we were the guys who ran the opposing team's plays while the first team defense got their practice off of us. Our first game that year was against the University of Iowa, and because it was a home game, everyone got the opportunity to dress, because Coach Hayes believed that if you practice for Ohio State, then you should be identified in Ohio State University uniform at a home game. And I was really happy about that, because it was one of those situations where I could at least show that I was part of the team, even though there were 3 number 45s out on the field that day. Well, that game against Iowa started, and we were beating Iowa pretty bad. And with the game winding down in the 4th quarter, Coach Hayes decided to give a few freshmen an opportunity to play. And I was one of those freshmen, and I can remember him calling me off the bench to go into the game. I remember how excited I was, because this was my big chance. If I could get in the game, run for a touchdown, or maybe just make a big play, he might just put me on that varsity team. And that was my goal. I got into the huddle, and the first play called was an 18 sweep, and that was a little pitch out to me going around the right side. We broke the huddle, lined up in the I formation, and the quarterback started calling the signals. And as he started calling the signals, I got to thinking. I said, I wonder if this offensive line is going to open up the type of hole for me as they've opened up for other running backs to run through. Because all day long, they've been making big gaping holes for our running backs to run through, and I'd wonder, were they going to do the same thing for me? Well, the ball was snapped. And as soon as the ball was snapped, I did something that I should have never done. I focused my attention on the hole in which I was going to run through. And it was a huge hole, the kind of hole you dream about seeing. So instead of watching the ball come into my hands, I kept my eyes on that hole, because I wanted to make sure it didn't go anywhere. The quarterback then pitched the ball. It hit me in the hands, and I fumbled. And fumbling was the one thing that you did not do when you played for Coach Woody Hayes. As you can imagine, Coach Hayes took me out of the game after that, and as you can imagine, I was crushed with disappointment. I sat on a bench with my head in my hands. I remember going home that night, and my father, knowing that I was upset, asked me about it. And I told him, I said, Daddy, I don't think I'm going to get a chance to play again this year. I'm the 5th team tailback. I'm on the scout squad. I just fumbled, and I'm a freshman. I don't know that I'll ever get another chance to play this year. But my father, like he'd always do, he gave me encouragement and told me to keep working hard. You're just a freshman. You'll have plenty of time to get in there and play. Now, let me just interrupt this stroll down memory lane. Let's pause here so we can really roll around in my humiliation. Here I was, barely out of high school, and my career at Ohio State was effectively over, I thought. I had blown it. The haters were right. I'd never get the chance to play here at Ohio State. Now, I'm outlining the depths of my despair so I can tell you this. At some point, you will fumble the ball. You will have a big moment in your life that you will screw up. You will fall on your face, and you will feel like you have done it in front of a stadium full of people. Growing up in the Griffin household, we read the Bible. And there's a verse in the book of James that is one of my favorites. It goes like this: My brothers and sisters, consider it nothing but joy when you fall into all sorts of trials, because you know the testing of your faith produces endurance. Notice that verse doesn't say if you have trials. It says when you have trials. It is simply saying that when you fumble the ball, it is a test of your faith and endurance. Listen carefully when I say this, though. Your failures in life do not define you. How you handle that adversity, how you pick yourself up off the ground and come back the next day is the true measure of your worth. Thank you. Consider this. Some of your classmates faced such a situation on September 6th when Virginia Tech came into this very stadium and beat our beloved football Buckeyes. Remember that? All was lost, we thought. A season ended before it had properly begun. Well, someone forgot to tell the guys in Ohio State's locker room. They buckled down and came together to overcome great odds, overcoming the loss to the Hokies, the season-ending injuries to 2 quarterbacks, the unthinkable tragic death of a teammate, all while the outside world told them they had no chance at a championship. Yet in Dallas, when the clock hit zeros and the confetti fell, the Ohio State Buckeyes were national champions. The most remarkable season in the history of Ohio State football. And they were there because they believed in themselves, they supported each other, and they did not let their collective fumble stop them from achieving their dreams. Learning to embrace failure is an important lesson, but not the only one that matters in life. You know, there's a tendency, I think, when giving a commencement address to say profound things that people have never heard before. But the honest-to-God truth of this life is that the best advice has been given before. You've heard it. You've heard it from your parents, your spiritual leaders, and your mentors. Think about it. You want to be a success in life? Show up on time. Be accountable for your actions. Do what you say you're going to do. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Pay forward. You can never truly pay back those who have helped you, but you can always pay forward to others. Woody taught all of us that. And one more thing, and it's very important. Listen. Really listen to people. You really can learn so much by simply listening. It's an increasingly lost skill in our hyper-connected, multitasking society, which makes it all the more important. So, I'll ask you to listen to me now as I come back to finish my Buckeye family story. On that Saturday afternoon in 1972, I had fumbled the ball on my first carry. I went back to practice that next week. I was still on the scout squad, still on the 5th team, still taking that beating every day from the first teamers. That next week, we also had a home game. This time, it was against the University of North Carolina, and so everyone was allowed to dress. The contest started, and the Tar Heels blocked a Buckeye punt to go up 7-0. All of a sudden, midway through the first quarter, I heard someone calling out the name Griffin. Kept calling Griffin. I knew they weren't talking to me. I mean, I was a 5th team tailback. I had fumbled the week before. I was a freshman, played on the scout squad, couldn't have meant me. But they kept calling Griffin. And I was the only Griffin on the team at the time, so I went up to Coach Hayes. And he grabbed me by the shoulder pads, telling me to go into the game. I was so excited that when I went to run out onto the field, one of my teammates called me back because in all the excitement, I had forgotten to take my helmet with me. Could not believe that he had meant for me to go into the game. Again, 5th team tailback, scout squad, fumbled the week before, freshman, couldn't have meant me. But I pulled myself together, went into the huddle. To be honest with you, I was in a daze the whole time. But that afternoon, they kept calling plays that gave me the ball. My number was being called, and I was running like I had never run before. And when I came out of the game at the beginning of the 4th quarter, the 86,000 fans in the stadium here gave me a standing ovation. And they did that because in those 2.5 quarters I had rushed for 239 yards, which at that time was an Ohio State rushing record. And I want all of you to know, thank you. And I want all of you to know that I will never, ever, ever forget that moment. It was the most exciting moment I ever had playing the game of football. And again, I've played in 4 Rose Bowls. I've played in a Super Bowl. I've played against that team up north 4 times, and by the way, never lost to them either. But still, that North Carolina game was the most exciting that I'd ever played in, and it happened right here on this very field. Why did it happen? Well, in some ways, I'll never know. I count it as a prayer answer, a miracle, a convergence of time and space and opportunity that changed my life forever. But I do know a little part of it happened because my failure did not define me, because I kept working hard, because I found a joy, a silver lining, no, I should say a scarlet and gray lining in the test of my faith that produced endurance and made me better. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohio State class of 2015, I wish you nothing but the best for you as you walk out of the gates of this stadium and into the rest of your life. I wish you great happiness, great fortune, great peace, and great understanding. But I also wish you something else. I wish for you to have faith that someday when you are my age, you will look back at your fumbles in life and relish the tests you were given. I wish for you a time when you're down and counted out and forced to dig deep and come back to show the world who you really are. I have a feeling that you will get that chance someday, but what you make of it is truly up to you. Now, I know when you get that chance, you will handle it, and you will handle it well. And you will handle it well because you are a Buckeye. And that's what we do. That's how we roll. So, again, congratulations to you all. And I leave you now, as I leave you always, with my two favorite words. Go Bucks! O-H! Thank you.
Thank you so very much for all that you've done for our church. I was thinking that I was here. I've had the privilege of presiding over more than 100 commencement ceremonies in my career. I've never heard a more meaningful or powerful speech than that. Thank you so much, Archie. Archie, we will remember the speech for the things you have done for us and things that you said to us, but we want you to remember us by this commemorative medal to put, if you find a place in your trophy case, one more thing to thank you for what you've done for this wonderful university.
Thank you so much.
And graduates, first of all, congratulations to the class of 2015. This is truly a day to celebrate. We are here to recognize your achievements, dedication, and perseverance. The fact that you are here today means that you have made some very good choices along the way, and this bodes well for your future. One of your all-time best choices was deciding to attend The Ohio State University. And one accomplishment you're sure to appreciate is The Ohio State University ranks 12th in the nation for the most sought-after graduates. In terms of cost and quality, Ohio State remains one of the best values in the nation, ranked 15th best among all public universities, up from 36th just 2 years ago. By all measures, you have received an excellent education from an excellent institution. Whatever you do next, join the workforce, start a family, travel the world, go back to school, your Ohio State education will serve as a solid foundation on which to build the rest of your future. When I'm asked to give advice to new students or new graduates, I always share 3 simple and straightforward rules. The first is stay true to your values. If you think of the people who you love, respect, and admire the most, many of them are here with you today. They are all people who lead a values-driven life. They all know what's important to them, and they know why. I encourage you to follow in their footsteps. Before you make a decision, check your inner compass, and then do what you know is right. Use yourself as a guide to make those good decisions. You'll find that good decisions lead to good places, like where you are here today at this very moment. Second, in all things, do your best. Your life will work for you if you are always striving to be your best self. Whether it's writing a paper, preparing for an interview, showing up for your first day of work, or being put back in the game after fumbling the week before, doing your best will make a real difference. I'm a medical doctor, and I've had an active practice for many years, and whenever I examine someone, I would walk out of the room asking myself if I had done my best examination. And if I couldn't answer yes, I'd turn around and go back and take another look. I did that 1,000 times, and it helped me to be a better doctor. By holding myself to a standard of doing my best, doors tended to open. I know that if you do this in every situation, You will be admired and respected by your colleagues and loved and appreciated by your friends and family. And finally, you have a profound effect on your future. Close your eyes and envision for a moment that you're staring at a picture of your future. What would you like to be doing in that picture? What would you like to accomplish in that picture of the future? Who would you like to be there with you? Well, we all have these thoughts from time to time, but a mistake that we often make is we forget to put ourselves in that picture. We tend to visualize futures as though we were looking at them from the outside in, like the future is something happening to us. But remember, you are the most important person in determining who you're going to be. Your hopes and dreams, your imagination, are all at the center of your future, and you, more than anyone else, can make it what you dream. Graduates, your amazing journey is just beginning. It's time to create your future, so put yourself in that picture and make it happen. Let me say, go Bucks, congratulations, class of 2015, and Godspeed.